Hey, how you doing? Geoff here. Hey, I am walking and talking. I've got a little treadmill under my desk, so if you think I'm going further away, that's why. Hey, today I'm going to talk you through our Sphere Builder Academy session tomorrow, where we get elite level entrepreneurial folk who are kind, who are compassionate, who are caring and want to change the world, and we take them through our systems and our models to help them grow their relational equity. And you, if you're watching this, you really, as a human being, you deserve what we call unfathomable relational equity, which simply means you deserve the kinds of connections and people in your life who can help you scale and leverage your business and your life so you can achieve whatever you want, because quality of life is very much dictated to by quality of relationships. And so in this video, I'm just loosely walking, obviously, and going to talk you through the process all the way from New Zealand here in terms of how we help people. You look at the workbook for tomorrow and see some of our system. And so let's just jump in a second and have a look at some tools. We'll share our AI tool to help you pick ideal people in your life. And if you want to come to the workshops, be part of our Sphere Builder Academy, either DM me or just comment below this video wherever you're watching it, and we'll reach out and we'll have a conversation. So it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. So let's just jump in and have a quick look at the workbook. So we are inside the workbook right now. This is what we have every week with models and trainings and really getting people focused on taking deliberate actions. I don't know if you've been part of a coaching program before, but what we often see is that when we just come to learn, we don't actually achieve results, but when we come and take action together, like we do in our deep dives and our gatherings, people grow. This here is just the reason why I do what I do. That's actually Abel Tasman National Park at the top of the South Island in New Zealand. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. That's my son Gabriel and my daughter Rose, 13 and 9 now, just had a birthday, overlooking this beautiful untouched part of nature. When you think about it, actually on that walk, there was this swing bridge from one side of the hill to the other. And before there was a bridge, people would have to walk down through the gully, go through the streams, probably go over some pretty big boulders and rocks, like mountainous type boulders and rocks. It'd be a pretty nasty and treacherous journey. And then they put the bridge in, and this bridge allows people to walk across that ravine really quickly. And one of the things I want you to think about is with your relationships in your life, what will help you move more quickly? Going after your dreams is a very treacherous sport, right? And it's like that ravine. And we want to get you across that quickly, and being part of a community of people who understand what it means to build relationships, pursue your dreams, to have the tools and the equipment, including AI, to go across that ravine and get to your goals more quickly is really powerful. Yeah, you can go through it and you can go down there and you're going to scuff your knees and you're going to get hurt and you get damaged, and you'll probably be able to keep going because you're a resilient, powerful human being. But by the time you get to the other side, you're going to be really exhausted. And the reason you want to reach a certain income level or get in a specific state with your body or improve your relationships or go on this amazing trip, the reason you want to reach any goal is so you can enjoy it. And if you're too tired or exhausted when you get there, you won't. And so as we just jump back in here, our workshop, what we talk about is this idea of moving from solo to surrounded. And the journey here is pretty interesting that we see people go on, because often what we think is, hey, it's all up to me. This is my life, this is my world, and I'm going to make it, and I'm going to craft it, and I'm going to create it. And yes, that's true, but it also applies a lot of pressure, and you feel very lonely, and it's much slower going on your own. And so we want to shift you from this notion of this is my solo journey, I'm going to make it on my own, to let's have some fun doing this. Let's surround ourselves with people in our communities, in our niches, but even in our academy. Let's surround ourselves with people who elevate us, who lift us up, who protect us. And we are only so strong on our own, but we are infinitely stronger together when we join forces. And too often we're either on our own or we have to ask for help all the time. And that's because we haven't built the kinds of relationships where people are inspired to help. And in our workshop tomorrow, we're going to give you the frameworks and the tools to identify the people in your relationships who are actually longing to help you. And a big switch and transformation that happens as people go from thinking, I'm on my own, this is all up to me, I got to make this happen, to being a little silo in this wild and crazy entrepreneurial world, to realizing that actually there are so many people out there that you can have an amazing relationship with, who get you, who understand you. They're not blood by family, but they're blood by entrepreneurial spirit, they're blood by kindness, they're blood by compassion, they're blood by joy. And there are 8 billion people in the world, and some people are listening to this and they say, yeah, but those people don't exist. 8 billion people, and you can't find 20 because that's all you need? Of course you can. With technology, with just the areas in which you live, with mobility and contactability and social, you can easily find 20 people. And when you do, you feel so much better about humanity. You get energized. You solve your problems more quickly. People refer you more business. Your life is so much richer, and achieving your goals is so much quicker. And so that's a big focus of our Sphere Builder Academy, is saying there are 20 incredible co-creators out there in your world who are literally wanting to help you. They just don't know you yet, or they don't know how important it is for them to help you, or they don't know how to help you because you haven't been able to cultivate the kind of presence and the kind of relationship where they're inspired to help you. And you can change this very quickly with some of the frameworks and scripts we're going to give you in the workshop. So we come back in here, we have an entire model for doing this. We'll talk our way through some of this, and we'll have a quick look at our Partner Picker GPT tool today. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them underneath the video. This is our model that we've worked through, and you can see that right at the center here, is this desire that you should have what we call unfathomable relational equity. In other words, you should be able to get any help, any support, any referral you want simply by asking it. When you have this level of connection and reverence in your sphere of influence from the relationships you built, you have what every human being wants, and your business has it too. This works for entities as well as human beings. You want your business and you want yourself to be deeply loved. You want to be truly known for what you stand for and who you are, and you want to be fully supported. And until you build that, your life isn't transformed, your business isn't transformed, and you're stuck in the hustle saying, when I make $1 million, then I'll work on being loved. It doesn't really work like that. And so the 3 components that we help people with, this is the one we're talking about in the workshop mostly tomorrow, is this idea of finding 20 committed co-creators, right? When you have 20 committed co-creators, you are fully supported and you are truly known. And you're just the crazy cat in your community that everybody loves, or in your niche, and they rave about you. And then part of this here, on the left-hand side, these catalytic connections, you probably want about 100 of those. We help you find those as well. This takes you from being safe, where you just have a big email list, to being sovereign, where you're really important to people. And when you have 100 of these, you're deeply loved and you're truly known. And all of these 2 things, these 100 catalytic connections and 20 co-creators, are formed by the way you talk to the world. There's this idea that you must have compelling conversations. And in many ways, the way we talk to people on social, the way we talk to people in real life, the way we talk to people in our business, dictates how much support and love we will have in our lives. And so if our conversations are dry, if our conversations are too transactional, if our conversations are too busy, if we're not talking enough, if we're talking too much and not listening, then we don't have the support that we want in our life. And we don't have the number of people who are just jamming and just excited and jazzed to work with us. And so a big part of our work is to get you talking to more people more deeply in a more compelling way. And we know that conversations are almost the most powerful thing on earth, because you could have the shittiest day. I'm trying to think of a day I had which was really beautiful. I remember having a day when I was working as a veterinarian years ago in England, from New Zealand, but I was working a bit in England, and I just had a day where surgery went bad, people were rude, just the worst day, and I was feeling not so good about myself. Had an hour and a half train ride home, and I remember sitting down feeling a bit grumpy in a pretty empty train, and this lady came and sat opposite me, and she was quite pretty, and we had the most amazing conversation, just a friendly conversation. But I tell you what, I felt infinitely better just from being able to process my day and have an incredible conversation with a stranger. And so if one conversation can dramatically change your day for good, we know that one conversation can dramatically change your day for bad. What you want to be is the master of having meaningful and compelling conversations, and that's what helps you get your connections and get your co-creators and have this world that you're building where people are inspired to help you, because it's then that you don't have to hustle and struggle so much in everything that you're doing. Hopefully this is making sense to you as I'm walking on the treadmill. Woo! Here in New Zealand. Okay, so if we jump back in here and just have a quick look at the workbook, we won't talk for too much longer. You can see that there are 9 parts going around here. And every week in a session, we talk about one of them. And tomorrow, we're talking about this idea of drawing closer. Like when you have someone who has committed co-creator potential, how do you engage them? How do you bring them in? And that's where our GPT tool is really powerful. And we are shifting you from going from everything being up to you to having to ask for people to help, to scorekeeping, to you being fully supported where people are inspired to help. And finding the right people is really cool. And just so you know, just real quick, we'll talk through this more, but too often people are surrounded by others or by a sphere of influence, or have a client list or an email list where they're people who they wouldn't really want to hang out with. Like they wouldn't want to have them over for dinner, and they're not really that good for business. And if that's in the dark, then there are other people who have a bunch of contacts who are good for their business, but they don't really like them. That's like poison. And then they have people who have a bunch of people that they love, but they'll never really use your services. And this is costly because you spend a lot of time and energy. And then over here is where we want to be. This is thriving. And then up here, this is where your co-creators are. And our GPT tool will take you through this tomorrow. And so one of the things that we're going to get into, we've not really taught before, is this idea of you being very intentional about your co-creators. And that means, you're looking for people you'd love to have over for dinner, and you're looking for people who are great for your business. But the hard question for people often is, what do you need right now? If I could connect you with 20 people who'd be absolutely effing amazing for your life or your business, who would those people be? And if you can't tell me who those people would be, then you are living your relational life by accident. And so if you were to ask me, who do I really want to connect with right now? I'd be entrepreneurial people who I just absolutely love having over for dinner, who could sign up to the Sphere Builder Academy, but also, because we want to live in an abundant world, remember there's 8 billion people, I really want to connect with co-creators who have huge influence, who run podcasts, right? Or have massive publications, because I want to grow our brand to the world. So right now, at this point in time, very specific, my co-creators run podcasts, right? Yours could be, I want to connect with people I absolutely love, who'll be excellent clients because they make a good deal of money, but they also run businesses in this particular community. And so the more specific you get, the better you're going to, and the faster you're going to be able to grow, and the more you're going to be able to get what you want. And There's a number of ways we're going to be teaching you on how to do this tomorrow, but we're going to get you to make some choices here. And then when you have your 20, remember there's an abundant number of people, you're going to put some other people on the waiting list, right? That's important. And then we give you specific messages with chat to send to people in each specific group if you're in contact with them, so that you know how to optimize your time to spend with the people who really help you thrive. Now, the Partner Picker tool, let me just jump on and show you how it works because it's super cool. All right, so here's our list of GPTs that we've created, AI tools to help people. So if you come right down here to, where is it? The Partner Picker, right here. So you can just come in here and you can just put people's names in. So I'm going to do something really crazy and cool. So if I come to my Substack, which is just a form, like any list of people you can use. So if I come in to notes, so perhaps I come in here to a post I wrote the other day and I go, okay, let's have a look. Now I can just pull these people in like this. I can go like this here, take a screenshot, just a screenshot of a list of people. This is how cool this is. I can drag it in and just wait for it here. It's going to read the screenshot. So any CRM list you want. And now it's going to ask me, okay, here's the list I pulled. And obviously some have first names. Let's start scoring Liz. Okay, remember the model you just looked at? This is an intuitive process. Don't overthink it. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much could Liz help you with your career or business? I think she's about a 6, all right? And then it's going to ask me another question. And how much would you enjoy having her over for dinner? She seems actually to be a very friendly person. Not someone I've met in real life, but it'll be fun. So now it's going to categorize her according to what segment or quadrant she's in. So it's telling me, here's the message I would use. Hey Liz, I was just thinking about you. Your name popped up on my socials. I love our client. I love our chats and I admire what you do. If you know anyone with questions or needs help, send them my way. I love helping people. Now you want to customize this message. This is just the tone of it. So it just tells you the basic framework to share. You don't want to get too crazy with it. So I might say, hey, your name just popped up on Substack, so we want to get the context right, and this is what we'll teach you, the little tweaks that you can use to train your GPT tool. So your name just popped up on Substack. I love your comments, because I always love your comments, so I'm just making it contextually correct. I admire what you have to say very much. If you know anyone with questions about Sphere, building, send them my way. I love helping people. Okay, so that's actually not bad, that message now. So I could come in here. I don't have to think too much. I can go, okay, let me message Liz. I don't know if I've ever messaged Liz before. I've not. And I'm going to go. So it stops me having to think too much about what the appropriate message is. And by the way, if you come back to the GPT tool here, I can keep going to the next person. And at the end, it will give me a nice summary of all the messages I have to send. So you can process people very quickly, which is really awesome. And it takes away your need to think. What I mean by that is, sometimes we get anxious and nervous, and this just tells us this is a criteria this person is. So it takes our really specifically designed dinner guest paradigm, puts it into a tool, and then you just enter your data, and it tells you what to do. Makes action taking much more likely. And during our academy calls, one of the things I'm so big on is I've been on too many boring Zooms and also too many unproductive Zooms. So every single session we have, remember, compelling conversations are the ways in which we find clients, we find co-creators, we find connections. In other words, we get things in life by talking to people. And when you sit on a Zoom and somebody else talks, nothing happens for you. Even as good as, I like to say, as sexy as this New Zealand accent is, it does nothing for you. Absolutely nothing for you or your business unless you transform the relational spaces around you. In other words, unless you are intentional and deliberate about the messages you send out to people. And the messages we give you will work in real life. As part of another bit of training, we then help you with another GPT tool called the Favor Funnel. Script out, what do I say when I sit down with a partner? What's the structure? How do we get them to take actions for us and us for them? How do we build a deeper relationship? And it works really great. I just did it with a local entrepreneur this week, and we are starting a entrepreneurs club, a local one, together in his bakery, which is awesome, right? And so you just need to be intentional rather than waiting for things to happen. And if we scroll back down to there's a bunch of other stuff here that we're teaching, but this one here, I really like this model, which is harsh but true. You have two futures from today if you're watching this video, and you can put your name in here. I'll put my name in here, Geoff, and Geoff with a G. And really the decision today is, am I going to be passive? Is this going to be an accident? Is it just going to be more of the same? More of same. It's really hard to draw or write on an iPad while on a treadmill. But you get my drift here. The best word probably for it is passive. Is this just going to be passive? Because if it's passive, then you're going to just cope. Or are you going to be really active? And our system, our model, puts you on this active and intentional relationship building line. And not to labor the point, but what you do today is really important, because the more time that goes on from today, the bigger this gap gets here. And you do get to a point of eternal depletion. And that's a hard gap to bridge. And I think of some of the older people I've known in my life who stopped building relationships, stopped making new friends, stopped growing their sphere of influence, stopped seeing their business and their work as a tool to build relationships, and saw it as a tool to create money. And what happened is they became lonelier and lonelier in their life, and that gap between the passive relational life, which is normal relational decay, and an intentional relationship life got so great that it seemed too wide, and they didn't have the energy to cross it anymore. And they were in rest homes, sitting in rooms by themselves for the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years of their life. And so that's a real tragedy. You want to become more and more dynamically alive as you live, and your goals, your dreams, your work, your projects, your writing, these are all incredible excuses to invest in the most important currency of all, which is people. And when you invest in people, they give back to you, and your business grows, and you get all that other stuff. We've seen it happen so many times, but you also have the best life, and not just a transactional life. And His time on earth is yours. It's a gift. No matter how shitty your life is, it's a gift. It's now. There's an opportunity. There's a chance, right? There's still a chance. And so if you want to know more about joining our community and working these models and starting conversations and finding catalytic people and working with the best clients in the world and ignoring the ones who are not so good, and having the support and the excitement and the energy that you need, then either comment underneath this video or DM me or message me, and we'll chat, and I'll give you the information about it and see if it's the right fit for you. Hopefully that helps. I've really done a good job with my walking today, and I haven't fallen off the treadmill, but I must go. It's getting light here in New Zealand, and I'll see you tomorrow on the workshop.